Here we go into game 61. Opponent is Hunter. Could be Mech Hunter, could be Secret Hunter, could be Reno Hunter, could be Even Hunter, could be Ziliax Hunter, Death Rattle Shenanigans. Just gonna mulligan as if it's some sort of aggressive deck. Gonna keep the Druid of the Swarm. Galvanizer, it looks like it's Mech Hunter. Considering Zephyrus, considering Druid of the Swarm. Want to save Zephyrus definitely when they have a bigger board that we probably will be mass dispelling, or if they have like a single. I'm just going to play the Druid of the Swarm. Considering whether we want to do Poisonous or Taunt, I go with the Poisonous just so I can take out more of their board. Get a little punished by the Glaive Zuka, able to remove our 1/2 and keep the Galvanizer alive. That said, I'm still not sure if playing it the Druid of the Swarm as a 1/5 was necessarily better. If he had magnetized onto his Galvanizer, it wouldn't have done much. So I think it was probably still right to play it as the Poisonous. So this turn, I think we're going to go with the Spellbreaker. The other option was Zephyrus. I don't know what he would offer. No, I think it's just Spellbreaker 100% of the time here. It doesn't feel super great just silencing the Ursa. But Branching Paths, I mean, I do consider Branching Paths just for armor, but we do have the Poison Seed, so we don't have to worry about losing the board too much. Still, I think we just want a Spellbreaker, get some stats out there, deny a card draw. There was some consideration to Branching Paths for armor, because we do have that Poison Seeds. But generally, you want to armor up after you've won the board, not before. Fight for board first, then armor up later. So they play the Metal Tooth Leaper and push quite a bit. I consider Zephyrus, I consider Wrath, and I even consider the Flute Spellbreaker. I think in the end, though, we go with Poison Seeds. It deals with their board, it takes off their mech so they can't magnetize onto them. I don't think Zephyrus would have offered us anything to deal with all those 3 health minions. And we're just kind of falling behind a little bit, and so I want to remove the mechs, slow down that magnetize aggression. We trade in with the Spellbreaker first, just so they have 1 less 2/2 after the Poison Seeds. The minion we get off Poison Seeds does not have Rush or Charge, so that's why we trade in first. They're quite aggressive here. Now we get to use that Branching Paths that we saved just to armor up. Wrath the 3/2, take off a bit more damage. We're at 21. Our opponent doesn't have any mechs on board, but they have a couple 2/2s. Just see a Replicating Menace and Hero Power. So we got a number of options on this next turn. Could Zephyrus for something. I'm thinking Zephyrus Shadow Madness is probably what we would do. But we draw Malfurion, and I think that just takes priority for what we want to do. We could still Zephyrus Shadow Madness the Replicating Menace. We don't want to Spellbreaker it. That doesn't really do anything. It's still mech that can be magnetized onto. So I think we're just going to go with Malfurion here, making 2/1/5 taunts, waiting for them to magnetize onto stuff. And once they do that, then we can play out the Zephyrus or the Spellbreaker. Also, getting the hero power from Malfurion is kind of nice. There's a magnetized Zilliax onto the Replicatatron. Quick Shot. Interesting. Our opponent runs Glaive Zuka and Quick Shot. Looks like they're just more aggressive face version. So I'm trying to think about what to do this turn, and then I suddenly realize Zephyrus can give us Earth Shock, and Earth Shock is just so good against the Replicating Menace. So we just want to play him when we have 1 mana left, so he gives us that Earth Shock. So I think to do that, we're just going to Hero Power and Archspore Mishfin first. And then with the Zephyrus after that, it'll leave us with 1 mana. We Hero Power for the attack, so after we clear off their Menace, we can attack into one of the Treants. And the Archspore Taunt should save us a bit from getting too low with that attack. Sure enough, there's the Earth Shock. Completely deals with the Menace. Attack into the Treant. We're at 14. We've got a Taunt. Our opponent has no mechs on board. We're actually ahead on board. We have a 3-2 and a 3-4 Taunt. They just have a 2-1. Mech Warper. I'm a little worried that they have like another Mech Warper Snip Snap, but nope, just 1 big old 5/5 and a Metal Tooth Leaper. Just going to play another Zephyrus here to deal with that big Mech Warper. Not sure what he's going to give us, but I know it'll deal with it. I like the Earth Elemental, but it's actually smaller than the 9/8. So we just go for the Big Game Hunter, remove that 9/8, remove their mechs. Always remove their mechs when they can so they can't magnetize and attack with them on the same turn. And now we're just so far ahead. Our opponent only has 2 cards in hand. We have 14 health, 3 cards in hand, way bigger board. Opponent concedes. And that's a good game.